Greetings. Let me first say, I don't pretend to be a prophet. There has been times that I've talked in the prophetic, but I had a dream the other night, and I want to share it with you. I've heard a lot of things out there. God is speaking. He's speaking a very prophetic message today. I just heard something the other day. A good brother, Philip Blair, Torch of Christ Ministries. Look him up. He's speaking for the Lord. He had a dream the other night about how he saw Russian warplanes in the skies of an invasion, quite possibly maybe this fall, by Russia and China. There was another brother named Dana Coverstone that he had dreams back in December. He had 3 prophetic dreams, and he told some of the men at his church, look him up, he's on the internet. He had dreams about this virus, a plague that would come and that we saw has come to pass. He also saw some things too. He saw something about a invasion of Russian and Chinese forces. So look it up. I believe we're really at the end. Jesus is coming soon. It's time to be ready. And I had a dream the other night. I want to share with you. I don't have a lot of dreams. I've had a few. But in this dream, it was so vivid. What I saw in my dream was I saw a city. And then I saw like this apartment building or a condominium. It was 3 stories high. And it was by this river. And in my dream, I saw this building that was just ripped up, like right in half. And it was just open where you could look right in. And I remember seeing like everything in the rooms. They were all still there, like the furniture. And I remember seeing a few people down there. Like there was a woman there at the bottom on the first floor, and she was there in her home. She was trying to keep away from where the river was, and she was there just, trying to go about housekeeping in her home. But she was real fearful of not getting too close to this river. There was a raging river that was right beside it, and everyone was fearful of that. And then in my dream, it went also to this. I was in this house, and I saw this military helicopter that was hovering over maybe no more than 100 feet above the house. And I remember just hearing the chopper sounds real distinctly. And I remember telling someone, that's a military helicopter. And I remember seeing there was a U.S. Air Force symbol on it. And then the dream stopped. And I wanted to see what kind of helicopter that was. I remember so clearly what kind it was by the dream, and I looked it up. It was an SH-60 Sikorsky, which is a combat helicopter for special operation missions. And I really believe that's where we're heading in this country with the riots, with protests, with the economic fallout. Everything's going to this where there's going to be martial law, military governance, a military state. And I believe it's clearly coming to pass as we speak. We see in the news everything is just unfortunately declining even further. But the Bible spoke about that in Revelation. And the message is going forth. There's a lot of men of God out there that are speaking the same thing. And Jesus is trying to get his church ready. Not to be alarmed, not to be surprised, or not to be fearful or worried, but to be in the place where you have a confidence that God is in control. He's going to rapture his church out, I believe, very soon. It could possibly be maybe this fall. It could be today. It could be as I'm speaking. But who knows? Maybe this fall, the Feast of Trumpets. There's a lot of things out there that are lining up to a possible fall rapture that could literally push out the tribulation 7 years to 2027, which would be within the parable of the fig tree for Israel. That Israel would be no more than 80 years old. This generation shall not pass. We are literally on the door, on the threshold of the most electrifying moment in history, the rapture of the church of Jesus Christ. And Jesus is trying to get his people ready. So if you're not walking with him today, you better walk close. If you're not born again, I implore you to be born again. Repent and give your life to the Lord and walk closely with him, because he's coming very, very soon. And what's coming upon this world is going to be horrible. I've heard it. The brother David Wilkerson, the late David Wilkerson, he prophesied about the coming days. Even back as far as 1973, he had a vision where he described what was going to happen. He described a one world currency coming in. He described the economic fallout that we see today. He even went as far as to talk about that there would be a great plague that would sweep the earth, and that literally New York would be brought to its knees. He talked about that very, very vividly and specifically, that this would happen. And we can see it has happened. He said that even sports would be shut down. The judgment of all the idols of this country would be judged. But he also did talk about a great awakening that would happen even before the end, which is what I pray. I pray that there would be a third great awakening in this nation, that people would make their calling and election sure, and that Jesus would once again, he would reap a harvest of souls even before he comes and steps out on the clouds. I want you to be ready, friend. I want you to be looking for his return. Walk close. Don't play around with the enemy. Don't play in sin. It's time to live holy. It's time to be separate unto God. Time is almost up.